Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing an analysis of Jimin's birth chart. Before we get started, I do want to make a couple of disclaimers. This birth chart analysis is for entertainment purposes only. Please be advised that my analysis is limited to my experience, my knowledge, and research. What I say is not set in stone, as people's lives and experiences are influenced by many different variables. And because there's no confirmed birth time, we cannot discuss house placement or the aspects his moon makes to other planets. So this analysis is limited and is not a complete picture of his birth chart. I will not be taking any assumed or random birth time information from fans unless the information comes from a reliable source. So please don't ask me to do an updated analysis based on this or that birth time. I will only do so if he ever reveals his birth time himself. So with limited information, we will put emphasis on the planets and their sign placement and aspects these planets make to one another. Aspects are geometric angles formed between planets which modify the planet's characteristics and expressions. Aspects are characterized into difficult, tense aspects and easy, harmonious aspects. Difficult aspects represent patterns of tension and stress we experience in our life, whereas easy and harmonious aspects represent gifts or characters that are innate, that come naturally to us. However, difficult and easy aspects shouldn't be interpreted as good or bad, because we grow and transform through difficulties we face in our lives, and the difficult relating of our planets can represent the areas that make us more interesting and differentiate our experiences and expressions from others. So let's get into it. Jimin's Sun and Mercury are in Libra. Libra is a positively charged sign, aka a sign that exhibits more yang or masculine energy. So it's active and outward in expression. It is a cardinal air sign ruled by the planet Venus. They are 14 degrees apart from one another, but because they're in the same sign, it's known as a sign-based conjunction. The planets radiate and express in the same language and in the same mannerism. Sun is our personality, our outward expression and ego, whereas Mercury represents our mind, thought process, and communication. Libras are known as the mediators. They see every perspective and seek equality and fair treatment of everyone involved, as Libra is symbolized by the scale, seeking balance and justice. Being a cardinal air sign, Jimin is an initiator and provides support to others through words of encouragement and via communication. Air signs exist in the domain of the cerebral things like communication, thoughts, and ideas and intelligence. Libra air is more careful in communication compared to its other air sign companions like Gemini or Aquarius. They are diplomatic as not to rock the boat. Jimin can intellectually understand other people's perspectives and thought processes, so it's easier for him to put himself in other people's shoes, which gives him the ability and the desire to comfort and put others at ease. But they can also be good debaters, especially in discussions of topics they have strong opinions about. However, the Sun is said to be in its fall or depression in Libra, meaning that Libra is a weaker placement for the Sun compared to other signs. Sun has a harder time shining brightly or asserting its will in Libra because it's exalted in the sign of Aries, where it's the strongest, and Libra being the opposite sign of Aries is the reason why we say it's in its fall. In Libra being a cardinal sign, Libra season coincides with the start of fall season when the daylight gets shorter. So the sun starts getting less visibility at the start of Libra season. This can affect the ability for Jimin's ego to express itself confidently because Libra is others-focused rather than self-focused. There may be need for courage to disrupt harmony and peace, to stand up for oneself or to assert one's own will. But this area of lack, if any, for Jimin is made up by his Mars and Pluto conjunction, which gives him tremendous amount of strength, power, and determination. Also, being ruled by Venus makes Jimin very Venusian. He's concerned with beauty, aesthetics, the arts, which include performance art and dance. He has a good sense for fashion and would be good at designing, as Venusian people have the eye for that sort of things. Venus's influence on Mercury can also make someone's communication very stylistic and beautiful, with Mercury in Libra. He may be intrigued by and or attracted to poetic language that sounds beautiful to the ear. His Sun does make a couple of hard or difficult aspects. It quincunxes to his Saturn in Pisces. Quincunx is a minor aspect, but it is at a 0-degree orb, so it's pretty strong and noticeable to Jimin. His Sun also square Uranus and Neptune conjunction in Capricorn, which is a major aspect, so definitely noticeable to Jimin. These aspects can manifest in ways that make him experience frustrations and dissatisfaction in personal achievements. He could be annoyed or irritated with authority figures or in situations that are out of his control. He can be impulsive, rebellious, and the desire for individuality and autonomy can be strong with these aspects to his Sun. With Neptune in the picture, this can make him sensitive, cause him to feel uncertainty at times, and he can easily be overwhelmed. But with maturity and experience, he would be able to learn and use these tensions within him to achieve the things that seem impossible. It can also provide the spark and the foundation for unique expression and individuality. It gives him courage to take risks that bring on inspiring changes and shifts in his life as well. Overall, he is energetic and active, with Uranus activating his Sun, but at times he may find himself frustrated or irritated when things are out of his control or when he feels restricted due to Saturn. As a Libra, Jimin is beautiful, sensitive, compassionate, and he's super friendly. Moving on to the Moon, his Moon is in Gemini. Although we don't have a birth time for Jimin, we do know his Moon is in Gemini. The Moon moves so fast that without an accurate birth time, typically the Moon can change signs within the day. But when calculating his chart for 12 p.m., the Moon is at 10 degrees of Gemini. As long as it falls between about 6 to 24 degrees within the sign at noon, we can be sure the Moon sign won't change on the date of his birthday. So Gemini is a positively charged sign, which just means that it's active and outward in energy. It is also a mutable air sign ruled by the planet Mercury. Geminis are intelligent and they're curious, constantly on the lookout for mental stimulations, being an air sign ruled by Mercury, which is also about the intellect and communication. So it has double qualities that are related to the cerebral arena, Mercury and air element. He values social interactions and connections with others. The exchange of information with others is necessary for Geminis. This can also make Geminis gossipy because they're stimulated by a lot of information. I also find that Geminis are usually petite in frame if it falls in one of the big threes, the Sun, Moon, and the rising signs. I'm not sure why this is, but it may have to do with the energy of quickness and a sense of urgency that Geminis carry due to Mercury's influence. Smaller the frame, the quicker they move and shift. Gemini in Jimin's Moon can make him moody because Mercury has a quick and restless temperament. So mood shifts are quick and unpredictable, which can express in ways that is erratic and anxious. But in general, he's emotionally intelligent and quick to pick up on social cues. Unfortunately, we don't know what aspects would modify or influence his moon, and we don't know what area of his life or the chart the moon falls in due to the unknown birth time. So I didn't draw up any aspects to it since it wouldn't be accurate anyway. But we do know the pattern of his birth chart, which is known as a bucket pattern. A bucket chart is where the planets line up neatly on one side of the chart, with one planet on the opposite side separated from the rest. In Jimin's chart, his moon is the single planet opposing the rest of his planets, so the moon becomes what's known as the handle of the bucket or the focal point of his chart. His emotions and inner world commands attention and dominates over the rest of his planets. Having a lunar bucket chart, his emotional nature would drive the course of his life. Moon also being the earliest sign in his chart in Gemini, the other planets would have to almost go through the moon to fulfill their own wills, or almost ask for permission, like the moon is a supervisor or something like that. Moon is also associated with our home, nurture, the mother, feminine energy, and instincts. These things have significant influence on the motivation behind Jimin's actions and drive in his life. Next, we are going to talk about his Venus and Mars, which can provide hints about his love life and relationships. Jimin has Venus and Mars in Scorpio. They're 21 degrees apart, so again, they are in sign-based conjunction. He has a Scorpio stellium as his Pluto is in Scorpio as well. Scorpio stellium just means that he has 3 or more planets in the sign of Scorpio, making Scorpio a significant sign in his chart. His Scorpio stellium makes him very magnetic and seductive. Scorpio has a negative or inward and receptive polarity. It is a fixed water sign ruled by Pluto. Venus loves passionately in Scorpio. Venus is attracted to the dark and the forbidden. With Venus square Uranus in Capricorn, Jimin is excited by new experiences. This aspect can point to attractions to unusual or unnerving experiences. This can also represent sudden changes or shifts in what he likes, as Uranus can be very unpredictable. He could also be attracted to partners that are unique, eccentric, and those that stand out from the crowd. His desires have a sense of urgent need to be satisfied when combined with Uranus energy as well. With Mars in Scorpio, he becomes an intense observer and he is investigative. Like if he's interested in a person, he will try to find out everything about them. He enjoys delving deep into the things that pique his interest. The Mars is in conjunction with Pluto in Scorpio at 4 degrees orb. He gets fixated intensely on his desires. He wants experiences that bring on deep transformations within him, and he isn't afraid to act when dealing with uncertainty regarding taboo things. And he may even find himself in dangerous situations often. The conjunction gives him a lot of power and strength, but also can be dangerous because the planet of destruction and transformation, Pluto, is combining with the planet of war and assertion, Mars. With this combination, he's prone to possessive and jealous tendencies in relationships as well. His Mars also trines Saturn in Pisces. With this aspect, there is a deep drive for intimacy and security in relationships. Saturn represents security and stability, so most likely this type of aspect makes someone commit in a relationship for the long term. He can also take on a fatherly or brotherly type of a role in relationships as well. He would be very dependable, compassionate, and honest partner to his significant other. His Mars also sextile Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn. Jimin is fearless when faced with change or the unknown, with a sense of faith that everything will turn out okay. He's able to push through hardships in relationships and come out the other side with strength. He's probably an exciting lover who's down for anything, very spontaneous, active, and playful in love. Some signs he may be attracted to are Aries, which is opposite of his Libra sun. He would be attracted to the direct and assertive nature of Aries. More so, he might find Taurus people attractive, which is the opposite sign to his Venus in Scorpio. With Taurus, he could feel complete and they would provide him with stability and security. Taurus is also the other sign that Venus rules, so two Venusian energies mesh well together. This couple would be sensual and take pleasure in finer things in life together. He could end up creating a home with another Gemini or its opposite sign, Sagittarius. Sagittarius would give room for his Gemini moon to express freely without constraints. He would be attracted to the carefree attitude of his Sagittarius partner and would find comfort in their sense of freedom that they provide. He has his Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in its own sign as it rules Sagittarius. There are qualities of bravery and optimism in social interactions with this placement. His Jupiter square his Saturn in Pisces, which can point to hard lessons regarding boundaries and limitations. But Saturn also helped bring Jupiter down to earth, even in a difficult, intense aspect such as the square, giving structure and discipline to his overreaching ideologies and optimism. His Saturn in Pisces can be a saving grace for Jimin because Pisces adds kind and sympathetic touch to the stern and unforgiving control of Saturn. His Saturn also sextile his Neptune in Capricorn. Because Pisces and Neptune share similar qualities as Neptune rules Pisces, this furthermore softens Saturn's rules and boundaries. With this aspect, it's easier for him to trust his intuitions, and there is a useful qualities to his creativity. His dreams and imaginations are down to earth, and there can be a realistic quality to them. His Uranus and Neptune are in conjunct in Capricorn. This is a generational aspect. Everyone born from 1990 to 1996 would have this conjunction in Capricorn because Uranus and Neptune are planets that move slowly compared to other planets. In Jimin's chart, Uranus sextiles his Pluto in Scorpio, which present desire and opportunities for him to transform social constructs through destructions of outdated structures and laws that no longer serve societal needs and humanity at large. So his generation can make huge and sudden advancements and make changes using technology to improve or put forth laws and structures to better serve our psychological needs that would have an impact on human consciousness. And they have the power and the ability to do this with compassion and sympathy for the collective whole. I think that's all the things that I wanted to put forth. In summary, Jimin is an instigator with more cardinal signs in his chart than any other modalities. He's able to initiate and start projects. He is sensitive and communicative with water and air elements dominating his chart, which also makes him receptive and reflective. He has more negative or yin qualities in his chart, which gives him more of a feminine vibe to his overall expression and adds to his receptivity and makes him gentle and nurturing. He is intense because of his Scorpio stellium, but he's also very sympathetic and compassionate as well. He has a really good healthy balance of feminine and masculine energies. So that's it for my analysis of Jimin's birth chart. I hope this was fun and insightful. And I will be back with Jungkook's AM birth chart analysis as I have been getting a lot of requests for that. So see you in my next video. But thank you so much for watching till the end. Bye.